You don't have to be a genius to go to medical school, you just have to be persistent, really. A lot of people who would make great doctors are often, just feel like it's too long of training or it'd be too difficult when, they would be a good fit. Medical school itself, has a lot of ups and downs. Everyone kind of will struggle here and there. I'm Jenny, and I'm a third-year medical student. Like I said before, I'm from Idaho. I went to my undergrad there at Idaho State, and then I went on to work on my reservation at a clinic there, the Shoshone-Bannock Community Health Center. It was like interacting with my community and seeing and helping elders and children. I feel like every day it was a small nudge, telling me that this was the right path for me. And kind of motivated me as well to go get my Master of Public Health. So I went to the East Coast for that. I did a one-year program at Dartmouth and then applied to medical school during that year, and I ended up at the Duluth Campus. So right now I still have all of third-year rotations to get through, and then fourth year as well is filled with more electives and also like applying to residency program. And then probably for me it'd be about 3 or 4 more years of extra training before I'm done with all of it. Here at Fairview, I'm working on a team, Blue 22. It's like a psychiatry unit that's inpatient. My day mostly consists of working with the resident and another medical student directly. And then later in the morning or early afternoon, I will round with the whole team, including our attending physician. In the afternoon, sometimes I'll have like ILT time for assignments I have as a student or just doing more research on, things for our patients. There's really such a need, everywhere for more primary care physicians as well as psychiatrists, and we see that need, even tenfold in like Native communities. Our school is prestigious. I think we're the second in the country for graduating Native American medical students, and Dr. Mary Owen is the head of the Center of American Indian and Minority Health, and that's one of her big, initiatives. Definitely less than 1% of the medical students identify as American Indian. And just from my own experience, you'd be lucky to have one Native American medical student in a class. And so it's really important for medical schools to just help address that need. There's a lot of different health disparities that our communities face, and seeing that firsthand in my community and then in other communities that I visited was definitely like a motivation factor for me. A lot of our clinics and hospitals are very underfunded, they are understaffed. There's just a lot of issues with access to care in general. Having more Native American, medical students, trainees, and physicians can really help address that need. Just give more like culturally competent care, really, because we are such a unique population, and some of the things, historically that our people have been through, there's this, distrust of the medical profession in general. Just kind of the whole history of colonization and these different institutions and government agencies that, have caused a lot of pain for our people, including the boarding school era. There were a lot of reports of even sterilization of Native American women, even into like the 70s. There's just a lot of history there I think a lot of people don't really always appreciate. It's not always necessary to have, someone of the same culture to be, treating someone, but it definitely helps in a lot of ways. And I know physician turnover is also a really big issue in a lot of tribal clinics and hospitals. So having someone maybe that's from that community is, a good solution to someone that maybe would stay for longer than just a few years. It is generally 4 years of undergrad. I mean, a fair amount of people end up doing some sort of master degree or like maybe a post-bac because medical school is just so competitive. And most people I talk to apply to maybe 10 to even 30 because it can be so competitive. It can be very expensive too. That's something that is a real barrier to a lot of people applying to medical school, especially, underrepresented minorities. Once you matriculate, it's generally the 4 years of medical school, and then you apply to your residency and complete your training that way. And it can be anywhere between like 3 to like 7 or 8 years, depending on the specialty, and if you choose to do fellowships also on top of that. My main advice would just be to not give up.